So your previous experience before you came here to Earth was on an insectoid home, ancillary world. It's not a home world. So there are 50 different versions of insectoid species, from mantis, mantis hybrid to ant, mantis hybrid to horse, so on and so forth. There's about dozens. But they all come back to the root race, which was an insectoid race. And you're part of the root insectoid race that came into existence about 2 billion years ago. So the race itself is ancient of ancient of ancient. It's one of the progenitor races of our our part of the galaxy. So you had been a part of that for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lifetimes. And when you transited out of that insectoid species, you became part of the Arcturian collective. You had met many, many Arcturians. So you are the progenitor insectoid species, hybrided with Arcturian, became part of the collective consciousness creations that the Lemurians were creating at about 59 million years ago to act as a hall of records during the times that the timeline genocides were occurring. You then transited from Arcturus to the Draco. Oh, this is interesting. The Draco homeworld, and you became. All right, so let me tune out some of the negatives of this. A very positive force of change within the Draco community. The Dracos themselves, there are 12, 14 different species before you get to their root race, and one of them is considered the bad of the bad of the bad, and the rest of them are in between bad and good, and there's a bunch of them that are still good. You were able to assist the race by thousands of lifetimes as a Draco to turn more to the positive, to an understanding that you can use contrast control and you can use universal karma to have a positive experience, and you do not have to go into nihilism or nullification of all galaxies and universes with total domination and control, some of what the zealot Dracos have taken over in perspective. And then from the Draco community, you went to the Pleiadian. Now, this is a soul transference. This is not physical travel. So you finished your experience in the Draco community, and then you became Pleiadian. And this is where you became heavily entangled with Earth. Now, your soul was quite aware of what the higher spirits were doing, which was trying to clear up the timeline pollutions of what was created during the 4 uncreational events. And your particular purpose was, as a Pleiadian physical soul, a 5th density Pleiadian, was to travel to Earth in a physical spaceship, to land on the physical world about 11,200,000 years ago, and then to begin to seed the world with, how do I put this? I don't want to give it the wrong words, but I will just use resistance-free Earth. And you began seeding this knowledge so that there was a tremendous innate reserve of people around there who were able to separate from the technological control of what the Atlanteans were doing at that time, which was very, very negative. They were considered the bad guys of the universe at that particular moment in time. So you seeded positive concepts such as like a form of psychic Aikido defense where you could redirect energy back at others, at the sources that created it. And then inevitably you got assassinated, and your physical body died here and got caught in the reincarnation realm, which is something you were quite aware of and actually had planned for. So as soon as you came into the reincarnation grid, you became an Atlantean warrior, and during one of your Atlantean warrior scenarios, you were on a spaceship that was defending just outside of Mars. You led a mutiny and a rebellion on that spaceship, and a number of others, as many as 200 other spaceships, became part of this mutiny and rebellion, and you went on this destructive process of destroying the major Atlantean bases that were being used for heavy negativity. Because of the mutiny, the way it organically propped up, there was no way of psychically detecting or psychically defend against it because some of the highest layers of weapons, reality-altering weapons, were used on you. This caused you to be remote assassinated and eliminated through the timeline, and you were stuck into a void space for about 2.5 million years until a Lemurian time exploration frequency discovered the bubble of void space and all of the other members of the mutiny who had been removed from time. You were then brought back to 54 million years ago during the Atlantean experience. So this brought in your advanced timeline processing of stuff that went on. So as a Lemurian, you suddenly were 54 million years old. You were no longer 12 million years old. And much of your insectoid memories began to come back to you as a Lemurian, we'll just call it spiritual scientist. You shared your knowledge and wisdom with the spiritual scientists who understood that you were part of some exterior timeline control system. They then, the Lemurians, became aware of the Atlanteans, and they began a short war that lasted for about 3 years until they realized that they were each other's ancestors. And you were a fundamental soul in creating that peace between Atlanteans and Lemurians. This, for your soul, was one of your greatest accomplishments, is to prevent the two races from making each other completely extinct in the time frequency. And from that point, you have been making sure that every lifetime you lead, that you are trying to awaken people around you, bring awakened children into this world. And that's been your life process for many millions of years.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. You're so cool.
What other kind of questions do you have?
I'm wondering what percentage of worlds are free-willed?
Yeah, you can't really rate that because there are worlds that are half free will, half not free will.
Okay.
Or 3/4 free will and free for all on the other side. You can't rate it as a percentage.
So
Our
is it given
world
on
is
a planetary or a bigger level?
No, I'm talking even if you just go at the planetary level all throughout the universe, they're all different layers of free will. Each is a different frequency of sovereignty and assists the different beings there on their particular process. We here at Earth have already done the spiritual sovereignty path of millions of other worlds. You know, to be here on Earth means you're the best of the best of the best of the last 25 million generations. If you're not ready, you're not here. Literally, everyone that's here, everyone that's listening on the call that thinks they aren't meant to be here, bullshit. You're here because you are the best of the best of the best of this universal generation.
Right.
And when you got 1 trillion geniuses that come together, there isn't anything they can figure out if they can share the common moral code of do no harm to any sentient kind.